If you've been trying to stop overthinking for years, then I need to tell you something. You may be actually making it worse, because the strategy most people use to stop overthinking is often the exact reason that they stay trapped in it. And the scary part is most people never realize that they're doing it. So if you have ever wondered why your mind keeps returning to the same worries, to the same conversation, to the same future scenarios, even when you know that you are so much wanting, you're desperate for peace, then stay with me till the end. Because what I'm going to show you would completely help you to change the way you understand overthinking. And by the end of this video, you will also see why your mind keeps going in circles and why the real reason has probably been hiding all this while. You see, a few years ago, I was sitting in my car after work. Nothing terrible happened, right? It was just a normal day, but my mind wouldn't stop. I replayed a conversation from the morning. Then I started thinking about a decision that I needed to make. Then my mind immediately jumped to something might happen next week. Then another possibility, another kept adding. And before I knew it, 30 minutes had already passed. Have you ever experienced that? Right? You just start with one thought and then somehow ends up carrying 10 different worries at the same time. And the strange part was that I wasn't even solving anything. I was just thinking, yet I felt so exhausted. And that's when I asked myself a question that changed so much for me. The question was not, how do I stop overthinking? Instead, why does my mind keep doing this? And as I start paying closer attention to that, I noticed something really fascinating. You see, every single time I found myself overthinking, there was something uncertain underneath it. A decision I hadn't made, a conversation I hadn't had, and an outcome I couldn't control, right? A situation where I didn't know what would happen. And then the more I noticed that pattern, the harder it became for me to ignore. And then I asked myself something. What if overthinking isn't really the problem? What if overthinking is simply just a symptom of something deeper? Because think about the last thing that you overthought. Was it something that you felt completely certain about? Probably not. And that's when the real insights started to come up. And here's what I realized it. Your mind is not addicted to thinking, right? It is addicted to certainty. Now think about that for a moment. Whenever your mind does not know what's going to happen, it starts searching for answers. Whenever it doesn't have an answer, it starts analyzing. And whenever it cannot predict any outcome, it starts preparing. Because certainty feels safe and uncertainty doesn't. And then suddenly everything started to make sense. The replaying, worrying, analyzing, mental rehearsal that keeps going on all the time. But here's where it gets even more interesting. You see, most people believe that certainty comes first and then action comes second, right? Think about how often do we tell ourselves, once I'm sure, I will decide. Once I'm confident, I will start. Once I know it's the right choice, I will move forward. But what if I tell you if it has to happen backwards? Let's say, example, when you learned to ride a bicycle, did confidence come first or did confidence come from riding? When you started a new job, did certainty come first or did certainty come after your experience? You see, some forms of certainty can never be achieved only through thinking. It can only be achieved through action. And that's where so many people get trapped. They're trying to think their way towards something that can only be discovered by moving, which is action. So here's what I want you to do next time when you catch yourself overthinking. Do not ask yourself, how do I stop thinking about this? Instead, ask, what is my mind trying to become certain about? And that one question shifts so much and changes so much inside you. Because now you're no longer fighting your thoughts. You're understanding them. And often you will discover that beneath all this mental noise is something much simpler than you had actually imagined. Maybe a decision that you're afraid to make, a conversation that you've been avoiding, an outcome that you can't even control, or a future scenario that you're trying to predict before it's even arrived. So here's what I want you to remember. Most people are not exhausted from thinking. They're actually exhausted from searching for guarantees, searching for reassurance, right? And searching for an answer that will finally remove all uncertainty. But life doesn't work that way, right? Some of the most important decisions in your life you will ever make, when you will happen to make it before you feel completely ready, before you feel completely confident, before you feel completely certain about it, right? And that's not a flaw, that's life. The people who move forward are not the people who have all the answers. They're the people who learn to trust themselves, even when some answers are not available with them. So if your mind has been working overtime lately, remember this: your mind is not addicted to thinking, your mind is addicted to certainty. And the moment you understand that, you stop fighting your mind and start understanding and working with it. Now I'm really curious to know from you, what's one thing your mind keeps returning to lately? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy understanding the hidden patterns that shape your stress, confidence, decisions, and emotions in your life, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because when you understand how your mind works, you start experiencing the life in a different way, right? And thanks for taking out time to watch this video, and I'll see you next week with another powerful insight. So stay with me. Bye for now.